welcome to another episode of the Fashion Grunge podcast. I am your host, Lauren.
And I'm Mike.
What's up? Mike's back today. I'm excited.
Thank you for having me back. It's been
Oh my God, yeah.
it's been a couple of episodes.
Yeah, you've been super crazy busy, like just in life in general. So yeah, I actually haven't talked to you in a while about, I mean, a little bit about stuff, but
Yeah, I
not a
mean, I
lot.
wouldn't say it's like crazy amazing busy, but I'm redoing the house, repainting and doing some construction, like revamping.
Yes,
So
yes.
so
You've like,
it's good, but it's like a headache at the same time because it's a lot of like
yeah.
back and forth with different vendors, and then I got to take boss to the neighbor's house so he doesn't have a shit fit. Um,
Boss is the dog.
Boss is my dog, yeah.
Boss is his dog. Yeah, I was like, oh my God, it's so crazy. So we haven't been able to like find time to watch a movie and talk about it. So if you hadn't guessed, because you probably clicked on this title, we're talking about The Faculty from 1998. But yeah, that's what we're going to talk about today. Also, if you're listening on Apple, please give us a 5 star and subscribe and write a review. That'll be awesome. And yeah, I'm out on what fucking Spotify.
Yeah.
It's everywhere. Like, just find it. It's everywhere. Fashion
Just
Grunge
do it. Just
podcast.
do it. Listen to it.
Yeah, it's super fun.
It's amazing.
We know you've seen The Faculty, but what else are you? What else have you been up to? What have you been watching or reading or doing?
So I've dipped my toe into a couple of different shows.
Okay.
There's one on Netflix called In the Dark, and it's
Oh
not
yeah, yeah, you told me about that.
yeah, and it's about this blind girl who befriends this African American boy from the streets, and he actually saves her from being mugged. And then
Did he
mysterious
know she was blind?
No, not at first.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
but then after, befriending, having a friendship for a little bit, he mysteriously goes missing. She
What?
thinks that he's dead because she goes out one night like she does with her dog, her
Yeah.
helper dog or whatever. And he's like a good tracker dog. He's like a German Shepherd or something. Tracks a dead body who she assumes is the friend.
No
And
way.
then she's
Well,
on this
that's her.
like quest.
She's gonna see if it's him.
Yeah, she's on this quest to find out if it's him or not. Meanwhile, having flashbacks of their friendship. So it's like a comedy, but it really like tears at your heartstrings.
Oh
Yeah.
no. Wait, wasn't this on the CW?
Yes.
Yeah,
Which
okay, I was gonna
I
say,
don't
I
ever
remember it was
remember
on
it.
the same time Riverdale was on it, 'cause when I would tape it, I would see commercials for like
Which
this
is
show.
funny because I don't recall seeing any commercials for it.
Oh, I do.
Um,
I think it was on like a while ago, right? It's not on anymore,
Maybe like
right?
a year or two. Yeah, it's only 2 seasons.
Yeah, yeah, I was gonna say, I think it was like canceled or something, but
Um,
yeah, no, I've seen it before. I've seen like ads for it
So
before.
it's really interesting. My neighbor who's watched it, she was like, "Oh, I highly recommend this." And then I'm like, "Well, fuck you because it's making me cry."
Oh no, it's like one of those shows. It's
Yeah,
like super emotional.
yeah. Like I said, I mean, it's a mix, so it's like a dramedy. Because
Oh,
she's
cool.
the actress, she's very quick witted, and
Oh, okay.
because she's blind, and I guess I don't know I'll never know what it's like to be blind. Hopefully, never. But
Do you know if she was born blind or if she
no,
became
she
blind?
became blind. She said, I'm only on the fifth episode, but she said that she became
Oh, okay.
blind
So
at like
like,
15 from some eye disease. I can't remember what it's called.
oh, okay. So she has seen before. She
Mhm.
has like some reference of
But
what things look
she
like.
became a real dick to her parents, started drinking.
Oh
So she's
wow.
very like sarcastic and everything, which I can imagine like somebody would turn into,
Yeah.
being
That seems
as a
so
shield,
crazy.
you know.
Yeah. That's
But
pretty cool. It
it,
sounds like an interesting
Yeah,
show.
so it's really cool. And then, so as I'm watching that, I dip my toe into another show called Light as a Feather.
Oh no, is this that craft thing?
Yeah, it's actually really interesting.
No, but is it actually the craft? Like, are they using their character
No,
name?
no, no, not at all.
Oh,
But
okay.
I mean, the only thing that it has reference to is because they were playing the game in the movie called Light as a
Oh,
Feather.
okay. I thought
Um,
it was like the same universe.
no, but it is about girls in high school. This one chick who is deemed a witch. She's cursed, and she's trying to get rid of her curse by playing light as a feather, stiff as a board.
What? Like
Where
it's like supernatural, like she's actually cursed.
yeah, so
Oh.
it's interesting. Like I said, I mean, it's like The Craft and I want to say like Pretty Little Liars had a baby. I know that sounds
Oh
weird
god.
to a lot of people, but
I really hope that Craft sequel or remake does not happen.
I
Cuz
think it was
like
a rumor because I haven't heard anything since.
God, I really hope it doesn't happen. I just like no. Like that movie just can't.
No.
Um
But what about
no.
you?
I was telling you about that. I probably already talked about it on the last one, but I was watching that show The Vow on HBO about that
Oh
weird
yeah.
sex cult, you know?
Hmm.
So that's on TV. I think it's still in like what, episode 2? I think there've only been 2 out. So I'm watching that. I started watching Billions on Showtime.
What's up?
It's pretty good. It's like Paul Giamatti is like an attorney for New York, like New York City,
Oh, I love
and
him.
he goes after like financial crimes, and he goes after this like hedge fund guy who is Damian Lewis.
Why do I?
Um,
The name sounds
he has
familiar.
red hair. Oh, he's English. I'm trying to think of like what he's been in. He was in Homeland, but I haven't seen that. But I just know that like
Oh,
I
I've only
looked him
seen a
up, and
couple
that's
of
what he's been
episodes of
in.
that. Yeah.
And some other like HBO show, like a military kind of show.
Mhm.
Anyway, but I think if you see his face, you'll be like, oh, that guy.
Yeah, I'm more
He's in
familiar
it.
with faces and names.
Yeah, he's in it, and like a few other people, but it's pretty cool. I mean, it's really like kind of involved, but it's pretty cool.
No, that's awesome. Oh,
Yeah, it's
very
pretty
cool.
cool. So, yeah, I'm just watching those, I guess, right now.
There's so much
So,
TV shows like Hulu, and I don't know, like I probably mentioned this in another one of your podcasts as well, but I don't know if it's the quarantine or whatnot, but Hulu just like released like 90s nostalgia to boot. Like Sister, Step by Step, I think is on there.
oh yeah, no, Step by Step has been on
Oh,
there.
has it? Oh,
Yeah,
never mind.
so his Family Matters.
That's so.
Sister is now, and Sister and
And
Moesha are
Moesha,
now
yeah.
on fucking Netflix.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And I think Girlfriends too,
I
which
never
is
seen
another
that one.
show. Oh, it's pretty good. I never watched the end, but it's pretty good. Like Tracy Ellis Ross,
I
like
love her.
that's how
She's
I know.
amazing.
That's how I know her. That was like the show she was on
Oh,
in like
okay.
the
Yeah, yeah.
I guess early 2000s or maybe like late 90s. I don't know. It's pretty crazy.
No,
But
that's so
yeah,
cool.
so yeah, I was going to say what are your first vibes on The Faculty?
So my first,
Directed by Robert Rodriguez, which is really cool.
yeah, he's really cool. Actually didn't know that he worked with Quentin Tarantino before.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
From Dusk Till Dawn.
yeah.
I was gonna
So
say that was the first film that I'd seen by him because I saw that before this.
that was really cool. And you want to know something else? Robert Rodriguez directed Spy Kids
Yeah,
and
all of them, right?
yeah,
And
and
that
the
Lava
Adventures
Girl.
of Shark Boy and Lava Girl, and then
Mhm.
recently Alita Battle Angel, which is kind of like
Seen that one.
it's a mix of computer and real life animation.
Okay.
And that's actually it was really cool. It was stalled for months though. I'm not sure why. But then recently he directed Lady Gaga's video for Rain on Me.
Ugh, blah, blah.
Oh, shh. It's a good album.
Oh, I fucking hate I don't like that guy. I think he's whack, but whatever.
um,
Um,
but yeah, no. Back to my.
yeah, when did you first see this?
I was just trying to think about it. I think I actually saw this in the theater with Reed and not my mom this time.
Oh, that's
Um,
right, because last time Scream was with your mom.
yeah,
If you've been keeping up on the podcast, when Mike saw Scream
my mom's my
with his
best
mom.
friend.
That's cool.
No, I
Hey,
mean, like I
that's
honestly,
pretty cool.
so like we had a lot of. I mean, yes, I shared a lot of movies with mom, but as time went on, it was more like Reed and I went to a couple things, and then you and
Cool.
I went to a couple things. I remember.
Yeah.
Um,
Wait, so what did you think when you first saw it? Were you going because you just knew Josh Hartnett was like the
yeah, he
fucking
was the hot
shit?
commodity back then. He
Yeah,
was
and you were
on
like, who cares what this
everything.
movie is? I'm going to see Josh Hartnett.
Oh yeah,
He's definitely been in some questionable roles, but who cares because it's Josh Hartnett?
right, exactly.
So I don't. I
He was
mean,
like the
that
cool kid that everybody wanted to be.
he really was.
But I don't know. I mean, there was something amazing about this film. It was like watching Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Hmm.
Like I said, mixed with like a pseudo Buffy-esque feel. Um, and then I was like, well, seeing it now, I'm like,
Yeah. What do you think? What was your rewatch like?
it's not a teen horror drama when the movie opens up with a high school football playing scene, and
I
then
know, right?
to add to that teen drama feel, the offspring, the kids aren't all right, are just playing in the background.
Yeah.
Um,
You're gonna say the offspring in that intro. I
but
have
I
that
was left
written.
with a bunch of questions, which I mean we can talk about later if you
What,
want.
you have a lot of questions with the
I have a
story?
bunch of questions, but we can get to it. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so you saw it in the theater. I definitely rented it, but I definitely didn't see it in the theater. Because 98, I was what, 15?
Hmm.
So yeah, I didn't see it in the theater, I don't
Yeah.
think. But I definitely was obsessed with Josh Hartnett.
I mean, everybody
And
was. It was.
yeah, right. And I was gonna say Robert Rodriguez. Okay, the first film that I saw from him was From Dusk Till Dawn because I was obsessed with George Clooney
Hmm.
back in the day, and that's why I saw that. And Quentin Tarantino was in that. But I don't think I knew that Quentin Tarantino was like the guy who did Pulp Fiction because he'd already done that. I don't think
Yeah, I
I'd
completely
seen Pulp
forgot about
Fiction
that.
then, so I was like, oh, it's some guy. Like I really like don't think I knew. And then I also have not seen Sin City, which Robert Rodriguez also
Oh, you've
directed.
never seen either of them?
No, no.
I
So
think
he
you
did.
might like it.
Yeah, that is on my list to see. I've seen Planet Terror, that one with Rose McGowan that he directed.
It's so
That
funny.
one that was like Death Proof
Yeah, I
and
have the
Planet.
DVD double set, but I've never seen any of them.
What? No
Yeah,
way.
isn't that
Okay,
crazy?
Planet Terror is really good, but fucking Death Proof is so badass.
Wait,
Like it is
that's the
so
one with the
good.
car race, right?
Yeah, well, it's like a car chase, but
Or
it's
car
like Kurt
chase. Okay,
Russell.
maybe I did see that one though. Okay.
Yeah, and like I forgot the one girl from New Zealand, and I forgot the girl who drives, and then Rosario Dawson.
Hmm.
And like and actually Rose McGowan is in a scene in Death Proof, but and there's some other people in Death Proof too, but it's really good. I Planet Terror is good too, and
Yeah,
because Rose McGowan and Freddie Rodriguez are in
it's funny
Planet
because I
Terror.
don't even know how I like obtained the double set. But
Yeah, like
I
that's
mean,
so cool that you have it though. I would totally get it.
I mean, I
And
did.
also I was gonna say Machete and Machete Kills. I fucking love
Oh my
those
god,
movies.
and I love
Love
I love
Danny
that
Trejo.
series.
Yeah,
They're
so
actually supposed to
cool.
make a third one
I know in
in
space.
space, but that's been rumored for like 5 years now.
Yeah, it's been a while, and now with Corona, like who the fuck
Hmm.
knows? Like, I don't know about anything because we just read that thing about Robert Pattinson.
Oh, I
Who knows? It's
know.
all alleged at this point. We don't really 100% know, but apparently they shut down
Oh
the
yeah,
new
they're still
Batman.
filming it, so it's and
Wait,
they
I thought they shut down.
well
That's what
they
the last
started
thing I
filming
read.
they just started filming it like a few months ago, and then
Oh, that's what you mean. Like they,
yeah.
yeah, they just started. Yeah, I
Um,
know it's kind of
God
nuts.
knows how. Yeah,
And we had what did you think of the trailer? Did we talk about this
the trailer for Batman.
for the new Batman, the
Oh,
one
I
that
mean,
came
like
out like
I
was it
liked
last
it.
week?
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm curious to see the actors and actresses' portrayal of each character. I
Yeah, was it Matt Reeves? Is he the guy doing it?
mhm. And then Zoe Kravitz is Catwoman, or well,
I
Selena
love
Kyle.
Yeah, I love. Hey, here's my deal. Because my friend the other day was like, "Hey, what do you think about Zoe Kravitz being Catwoman?" Because I love Zoe Kravitz, and I was like, "Okay." I was like, "I have nothing against her. I do not like Anne Hathaway, so
No, I did
like,
not.
that doesn't even like make a difference." I was like, "But I feel like Zoe Kravitz just is not that kind of actress.
I
Like
don't think
she
I've
just
ever seen her in like an action.
I've never seen her in anything a role that's already been done before. Let's put it that way. Like the fact that Michelle Pfeiffer has done Catwoman slash Selena Kyle so iconically,
Mm.
I just don't know. But not to say that she won't be great. Maybe she'll
No,
be really great
I
in it.
mean she can't be any worse than Halle Berry. So
Oh yeah, it was bad. But the thing is, maybe it's going to be written better and like different, so it won't be like she won't have to act the same because it won't be the same. Because Paul Dano's doing the Riddler, and his
mhm.
was like what the small bit that we heard, I think,
His
like
voice is
sounded
weird.
really
His
cool.
voice
It
is weird
sounded
to me.
cool. Yeah, it is kind of weird, but it sounded cool. So maybe he'll make a cool because they keep redoing the Joker. Like the Riddler's a really, really fucking cool villain too.
Yeah.
So and
Well,
then
so
Colin Farrell is the Penguin too.
as a penguin, yeah. It's good. Well, so like watching the preview, I was confused because okay, so apparently, well, supposedly there's no Joker yet or said yet,
I don't think
but
there will
there's
be.
a bunch of people if you see it in the background with like clown makeup on. So were they his followers at one point and they're still running amok, or are they gonna introduce the Joker at some point?
No, please, no.
I know.
Like, God, no, please. It's
I
too
don't know.
much.
I mean, I'm still curious, but um,
We just had Joaquin's. Like, give it some time. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
just It's like stop doing it. We just had the Batman too.
Hmm.
I'm surprised they're doing the like another Batman all like so back to back, you
Well,
know.
did you hear? Did you hear about Ben Affleck? So apparently, he was not going to do the Batman, or he wasn't going to do Batman after the whole like Justice League fiasco, right?
Yeah, I heard that.
Because he was supposed to like write his own version of it, star it, direct it, whatever. Okay, that got off the table. But now it's resurfaced that he's back on the project.
So what does that mean?
Oh, I don't know.
What?
I I don't
Not
know.
this one with Pattinson though, because Pattinson got cast.
No, not this one. Totally different one.
Oh no.
I have no
Like
idea.
another one?
Mm,
Okay, well anyway, back to Robert Rodriguez. I just said that. That's all I have about him. When obviously written by Kevin Williamson we were talking about. Do you have any behind the scenes information? I
yeah,
don't have like too yeah,
I mean,
what do you have?
so they did just like disturbing behavior. They had an original script, um, but it wasn't actually just written by Kevin Williamson. It was written by two other guys. Their names escape me at the moment, but they hired Williamson to come and rewrite and like add some stuff.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
but he was supposed to originally direct it, but then at the time he was more focused on his directorial debut with Teaching Mrs.
Womp
Tingle.
womp.
Hey, I liked it. It was a good movie.
No, it's not better than The Faculty. He should not have he should have probably done The Faculty, but that's okay.
But I swear he was attacking way too much, especially within those couple years. Like with
Yeah, and
Scream, Dawson's
Scream.
Creek.
I Know What You Did Last
I Know What You Did
Summer.
Last Summer, Teaching Mrs. Tingle. Yeah, so it was a lot. Didn't
I just
have
have
like
to say, as a note, Disturbing Behavior is so underrated, and it's on Amazon Prime right now. People should go watch it. It's
so
another
good.
good one.
Um,
Yeah,
but
we did an episode on it. You should check it out. But it's cool. It's really cool.
yeah, but the script was written in 1990, but didn't get bought until 96. After the successfulness of Scream.
Oh my
Um,
god, Scream really changed the game, didn't it?
Scream really did, yeah. I mean, this
Yeah,
is more like on the sci-fi side, and Scream is more like realistic horror,
yeah, that's
but
true.
still under that
Slasher.
umbrella of slasher. Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
like I said to you before, the movie is supposed to be taking place in Ohio, but it was actually filmed in different cities of Texas.
It reminds me of Varsity Blues too. Didn't
Which
that
I
come
never
out
saw.
like the Oh, it was like the
It was on
next
USA,
year,
right?
yeah.
It was on
Uh
USA. Yeah,
USA?
I think it
Yeah,
was
yeah,
like
yeah.
USA. And then what's the new football thing that they have on the CW? It's like a
Oh,
American
oh,
Dream,
All
All
American.
American. Yeah,
I think it's All American, or the one after Riverdale.
yeah.
Are you gonna watch Riverdale this season?
I think
Next season?
I've
They're
jumped
skipping.
ship.
You've done ship? I'm gonna watch the premiere because they're skipping 5 years.
Oh,
So
but
that
that's
means they're
great.
like in their 20s. So I kind of want to see like what they're gonna be doing, like because they're gonna be way more mature, you know. So I'm kind of
Yeah,
curious about that. I'll
and then
watch the first one.
I'm watching. We're watching the new superheroine Stargirl right now on CW, but even that got halted recently.
Yeah, I was gonna say everything did. Okay, keep
Everything.
going.
Oh yeah, so that's pretty much like behind the scenes. I didn't like I told you earlier, like I didn't dig up any drama. I think this was
Yeah,
like
there
a
was no
clean cut,
drama.
like pretty nicely put movie with everyone was like doing their job.
Yeah, yeah, it seems like it. I have around okay, the budget for the film was $15 million
Mm.
and it made worldwide 63.2. So that's
Oh, it
it,
got upped. Okay, I was
yeah,
thinking something
it did.
different.
Oh, okay, that's what it said on one that I saw.
Mm.
I think it made that was worldwide. I think it made like 40 some million domestically.
Oh, that's what I read. Okay, yeah,
Yeah, so that's pretty good for like they made their money back.
yeah, that's really
Um
awesome.
Yeah, and I saw an interview with Josh Hartnett on the set of it, and he was talking about how he was really really excited to do the film because he loved the script,
Oh,
and
that's
he was
awesome.
like Kevin Williamson's been really famous with Scream, and like he mentioned Scream, and then he's like, and once I found out that Robert Rodriguez was gonna direct it, he was like, I was so in, like he's
Mhm.
got a great style, and he's like, I knew it was gonna be grittier than Scream.
Oh yeah.
So he's like, that's why I was like really stoked about it. And he was like, and he loved that Robert Rodriguez did a lot of his own camera work. and he mentioned that one of his early films, like one of Robert Rodriguez's early films, that he was inspired by. So I think he really likes him as a director too. There's also some footage on YouTube where you can just see like real like daily footage, like B-roll,
Oh yeah,
which is cool. Yeah, it's like only 2 minutes. It's literally just like them filming like the crowd and the football. Like there's not really speaking. When you see them filming the car crash again into the school bus,
no, but
catching on
that's
fire.
still cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah, you just see them doing it behind the scenes, but like the actors aren't in it. I think you see Josh Hartnett and like Elijah Wood in like a scene, and they're doing it, and you see the camera and stuff.
I still can't believe Elijah Wood is in this after seeing like so many films of like Lord of the Rings.
I think one of my notes I have throughout it, I think I just wrote like Elijah Wood is 12, like
He
forever.
really is baby
Like
face, like
he,
big blue
I
eyes, and
it's really creepy at the end when he's like, I mean, obviously you've seen the movie, spoiler alert, but at the end when he's like with Delilah, I was like, he just looks like a boy.
she
He
looks
just
like
looks so
so much
young.
older than he is. Yeah.
Yeah, she looks like she's way older than him. I was like, this just looks kind of funny, but yeah, that's all I had.
No, that was good.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. Let's see. Heading into the story here. This is crazy because I've seen this film like maybe I want to say twice
mhm.
before this rewatch. Like I haven't seen it a bunch of times. I don't know it extremely well, but I do see it on TV now and again, so it's like somewhat edited. But it's really funny to watch it now, like when I'm dissecting it, like how weird the story is.
Mhm.
So, yeah, okay. So in the beginning, we open up into, of course, football, and it's like I was like, oh, okay, here we go. And my
Right.
first note is the coach is the T1000.
I yeah, I had like four exclamations on that. I was like, yes.
But I was like, that's pretty weird. That what this is 98, so that was like 92
Mhm.
T2.
Mhm.
So yeah, he definitely always acts like that. Like in
Very
every
like
movie, he's
mean
really
and
like
yeah.
robot, like like staccato and
Like you
scary.
can't get out of that character.
No, it's true. Even in this SVU Law and Order episode, he's like kind of like that. It's really strange. And then of course we open into like the faculty meeting in like the teachers lounge and them all talking about budget cuts except for football. And I was like, okay, this scene went on a little too long. Like, why do we care about
Right.
everyone's budget? Like,
I had a side note that said BB Newworth is everything.
oh yeah.
She's the only
Really
one that
funny.
has like the put together outfit, the powerhouse outfit, because I mean, she plays the principal, right?
Yeah.
But she's just like in a room full of duds. I am the queen.
The bangs. She has like the Betty Page bangs, the really short bangs. It's really chic. And then you find out that of course everything's gonna be cut but football because this is like a football town and that's what everyone cares about. So like whatever, fuck
I
you.
feel like a lot of schools would do that, would say
Yeah,
that, you
smaller
know.
towns, I think, yeah, because lots of people come and
Mhm.
it's a big like
They're like,
money maker.
screw the musicals, screw the art festivals. We have football.
Screw your music class. Yeah, we want football. So, and then later on, like the principal has to go back into the school, and like she's like, "Oh shit, I forgot my keys." Has to go back in, and then the fucking T1000 is like literally acting very T1000 and like cornering her in the
I need a
fucking.
pencil.
I was like, this is really crazy, like like not borderline. This is straight up like sexual harassment, and like
It
very
really is,
strange.
right?
And then she says something like, I'm not down for this harassment. And then he's fucking stabs her hand with that
Like
pencil
all the way through. My
through.
tummy was
Oh,
like, ooh.
no, I was like, ew. And then I wrote, oh my god, I thought she was evil already. Not
Right?
before she got her hand.
She has that face. Like
She definitely does. She's definitely like super scary. And then I wrote, he's a Terminator again, fucking chasing her around this building like the fucking Scream ghost face. Like literally, like she's just like, oh my god, everything's locked from the
I mean,
inside.
seriously, it was very reminiscent of Drew Barrymore and then mixed with like Buffy, as I keep
Yeah.
saying. So it was a very good marriage of the two. I loved it.
And we're still in like the intro. Like this is like how the
Right.
film is open. You still like don't really know what's going on. And then outside, she like gets outside and then you see Mrs. Olson, who's like this old teacher who's there. I forgot what what do you call it? What subject she teaches. But then she's out there and she's like, "Oh my god, thanks so much. He's after me. He's after me." And then she comes out and then she fucking stabs her. And like,
Oh yeah,
just
Hyper
completely
Lori.
stabs her outside. Yeah, outside the door and you're like, "Oh shit." And then it goes like the faculty. And then you see like the credits and it's like the faculty. My next note is thank God we only had to wait 8 minutes for Josh Hartnett. Because that's how long it was.
I love the
Until he came on.
introduction. I love the introduction of the kids because it's like their name comes by after they like have their 5 seconds of talk, and it's like
Yeah,
Zeke.
except for Zeke. Zeke's at the end.
Oh, that's
His is, it's pretty legendary when he like comes in on that car. And I was just like, oh, thank God. I was like, although his hair, what's going on here?
it's
Like, what is
yeah, I
up
know,
with
right?
his
His
hair?
hair is like going from like left to right, but like kind of flat on the top. But
Really weird.
what were
And
they
then,
like? Was he supposed to just be like the dirty, grungy
I think,
thing, but
okay,
they forgot like the mop on his head?
well, it's really weird too because they kind of act like he's like, like some teachers allude to like his mom not caring about him or
Mhm.
like they don't even know where she is. But then when they go back to his house later, he's like, "Oh yeah, my parents are in Europe." I was like,
Right.
"Wait, so he's just rich then?" Like I thought he like didn't have a home. That's kind of like what they
Well,
made it seem like he was kind of like rogue, like he just did whatever he wanted.
yeah, it was like it was almost like they turned his backstory a little bit because even when Famke Jensen as like her newly reformed alien self like claps back at him like really hard, um, she even says like, "Where is your mother off to now? Vacationing
Yeah,
somewhere, blah blah blah." And I'm like, "Wait, what?" I
yeah,
thought
vacationing. Yeah, I'm
or
like,
something.
what?
Yeah,
They just made it seem really weird. And I said, okay, in the intros when you meet all the students, why is everyone crashing into each other? Like that's how you meet everyone.
they're
Everyone
they're
just
just
keeps
they're just saying
to each
how clumsy high schoolers are.
and how much they're like in each other's way. Like, and then you just meet like fucking Casey, Elijah Wood, Delilah, bitchy Jordana Brewster. Who else? Stan, Sean
Stan and
Patterson,
then
Stan,
Stosky.
Stokely,
Oakley, thank you.
Stokely, Clea Duvall.
I love her.
Um, love her. She literally, I love because I was watching her in Popular where she
Right?
played.
And then do you
She
remember?
played that girl that Mary Cherry like tried to like smuggle up from like
Yeah.
some random like school.
And then do you remember that one Buffy episode she plays the invisible girl?
Yeah,
Where she's
you're
like
right.
throwing Cordelia Chase like all over the place.
That's right. I forgot about that. And then she's in like a ton of movies.
A
Like
ton
she
of
was in like
movies.
a ton of movies.
Actually,
Wasn't she in like I'm a Cheerleader?
I was just gonna bring that up. That is in the '90s. If
Such a
you
good
if you are interested in doing it,
Yeah, no, yeah, we have to do
I
that.
would love to do that. RuPaul's in that too.
I know. We also have to do Welcome to the Dollhouse too.
Oh
That's
God,
another
I've only
weird,
seen
weird
that
one.
once.
Oh, it's so crazy. But I'm a cheerleader. Yeah, she is in that. Clea Duvall. That's what I thought.
Um,
Um, so funny. But yeah, they just keep crashing into each other. I'm just like, what the
and
fuck?
this
And I
is
wrote,
oh sorry,
"School's
this
a
is
night."
yeah. No, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I said, whoa, Casey is seriously bullied. Elijah Wood. They're like treat him like shit.
Oh yeah.
They put him like they thrust his crotch into the flagpole, like outside, and nobody's doing anything about it. I was like, this is crazy. And then I wrote, the school's a nightmare. There's that car crash right in front, and it's like a fight outside with like the two
You
moms.
bitch, blah blah blah.
Like, what kind of dysfunction is this fucking school? Like, where is this school in Ohio? This is nuts.
Right.
Then I wrote, Zeke, what a name. Then you see him
Like,
like,
what kind of name is that? That's like
Zeke is kind of weird, yeah. Ezekiel is the only thing I could
Ezekiel.
think
Yeah.
of
Short
was
for it. Yeah.
to that name, yeah. And then of course you find out that he like deals speed and like his name card is like him with two things of like speed in his hand.
I
And you're
love how
like,
he has a fucking lab like in his what is it, garage or part of his house.
but then he's like oddly smart. Like the teacher brings it up later that she's like, you were really close to graduating. Like you wouldn't have had to be left back if you just like applied yourself. I was like,
Mhm.
why would you want to be in high school again?
Well, I
Like,
mean, a lot. I think a bunch of kids. I remember in my high school, I think people kind of masked their intelligence just to
so
get
they could
by.
stay in,
Huh?
so they could stay in school and not just graduate.
I guess, yeah.
That's so
Some people
crazy.
don't have priorities.
I guess so, yeah. I would never like I would just be like, I want to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, right?
Um it's just so weird. And then we go into like we see the coach like in the faculty room, like everyone, all the teachers are like gathered around, like being whatever, and we see him just like pounding water.
Drinking his ass off water. Just
Not
get a
even like
bigger cup.
yeah, not even interacting with anyone around him though. He's just like staring out the window, like eerily drinking water, staring at the football field. I was like, this is weird.
And then you see like Selma Hayek, who's in it for maybe 4 minutes, and she like looks like she's gonna pass out from like influenza,
She really, yeah,
bandaging
they do
like somebody's
this, like,
arm.
she looks. I love how Famke Jensen gets turned into like super glammy, and like she like turns into this like hot like seductress when she's an alien.
Right?
But like poor fucking Selma Hayek, who's like the hottest woman in this whole movie,
Right.
like doesn't like ever have her like va va voom moment.
No, she really
You know what I mean?
doesn't. She like
Crazy. I'm like that was like her vibe, you
because
know?
like
Like that's so weird.
what is it? Because like a little bit later in the movie, the coach and Piper Laurie's character, they like turn her,
Yeah.
and then she
You
like
don't see
is not
her.
in the rest of the movie.
Yeah. I was like, why would we not even see her looking different
I
than
mean,
like
I feel like
just
she
a
would be a
fucking
hot
nerd?
ass alien. Like just
Yeah, if that's apparently what all of them turned into, like hoes, except for like, well,
except for the
Famke Jensen,
coach.
like she was hitting on hot Josh Hartnett, but let's be real, he was probably like 19. He was left back,
Right.
so like I know it's weird, but like that whole thing was super weird. I was like, okay, this is strange. It's always the opposite gender, you know, when it's like a woman like hitting on like a young boy, it's like somehow okay.
Mm.
But the other way around, like they would never have some male teacher like talking to like a student like that. It would be like out of control. So it's super crazy. But okay, so then the coach is like pounding water, weird. And then I wrote Stan and Delilah. Were they really dating or what?
What do you mean, like behind the scenes?
No, like in the story, because
Oh,
she's
I
like
mean,
so dick to him.
they
Like you're
make you
dumb.
think that I guess they
Football.
are dating, or they just have like a troubled, yeah, relationship.
Yeah, everyone has like a super fucked relationship. That one couple that you just see constantly fighting throughout the whole film is
Fuck
like
you.
John Abrams
Fuck you.
and Summer Phoenix. Like, yeah, the one he was in Scary Movie, right? Wasn't he the
They're
boyfriend?
actually credited as the fuck you girl and fuck you boy.
Oh wow, that's pretty funny. We got Summer Phoenix and fucking was it John Abramson?
I can't
Is that his?
remember. Yeah.
He's the one in Scary Movie.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
He was Sydney's boyfriend or Cindy or whatever her name is.
Cindy, yeah, in Scary Movie.
Um, yeah, it's so funny that like this whole school just looks so dysfunctional, like everywhere. There's like just people fighting. It just seems like it's just a mess. And then I wrote Stokely, LOL. Like I don't know why.
See,
It's just so funny.
okay, my problem with, and maybe we were gonna get to it later, but like my problem with her was like, okay, she's Dean the goth chick, right?
Yeah,
But I feel like the wardrobe people were just like, okay, let's put her all in black, put a bunch of mascara on her, and just have her act broody. Like
give up.
I feel like, well, I mean, I don't know about you, but like in my experience in high school, there were a lot more gothier looking chicks.
Yeah, there were. There definitely wasn't just one. But we went to like different
This is
schools.
true. I went
We
to,
didn't go to like like regular public
yeah,
school. I don't know how many there are in regular public school.
but I was just like, Nancy Downs did a better job. Or like
Nancy
that,
Downs is the ultimate queen, though.
or that
I
that
mean,
gothic chick in Blair Witch 2. Like
oh, who's that one?
I can't even remember the actress's name. The movie was so bad. But I mean, she made
Yeah.
Gothy look gothy. Like she had the long black hair, the black dress, the uber
Who is
white
another
skin.
gothy? There's no gothy one in Clueless.
There was
Oh
no
well, no,
gothy one in
she's
Clueless.
not gothy in Empire Records. Deb, the one who
Oh,
shaved
Deb,
her head.
yeah. She's just
She's not
depressed.
gothy though.
Yeah. She's just
Yeah,
depressed.
that's true. Yeah,
Um,
yeah, she doesn't have like gothy vibes. I'm trying to think of like who else.
because there was no one in Can't Hardly Wait, right? That was gothy.
No, if
No.
they were like a outside
Yeah.
character. Yeah, it wasn't anyone major. Yeah, that's so funny. Yeah, she was. She was. It's super weird. They should have just made her like even scarier. She reminds me of that SNL skit. Remember, like Goth Talk?
No.
Was it Goth Talk or Goth Chat? It was like Chris Kattan and like Molly Shannon were these like goths in this like high school
Oh
basement.
no shit.
Oh my god, it's really funny. And they would have like callers and like people would
What?
call in and they'd be like it's pretty funny. And they would like do stuff around like Halloween, I think mostly is
I'm
when
gonna
they
have
would
to
do
look that
stuff.
up.
Yeah, it's really funny. I'll have to find it. I think it's called like Goth Chat or like Goth Talk or something. Um okay. And then we meet I don't know, didn't write it down, but we also meet this like really annoying goody two shoes southern girl named Mary Beth.
Mary Beth.
And she like approaches Stokely, I think, outside when you first meet everyone, and she's like, "You don't have any friends, or you have less than a friend, so you'll definitely be friends with me." I was like, "What the fuck,
Right.
bitch? Really?
her
You don't even know her."
her accent. I mean, she's supposed to be Southern, but it almost sounded over exaggerated Southern.
Yeah,
That
it
makes sense.
sounded weird.
Yeah.
It sounded super weird. So we meet her, and she's fucking annoying. And then so Casey is out running around in the field and he finds this like weird bug and he like brings it into the science lab and he's like, "Hey, I think I found a new species." Their science teacher's John Stewart, which is really funny, I think. Um, you found that really disturbing.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
Oh,
you.
sorry. Yeah.
I was like, you found that really disturbing in the lab.
Well, yeah, I mean, it just because like shit just got real like when Elijah brings in the new species as is deemed. John Stewart is like, "Here, let's put it in the fish tank." All of a sudden it just like multiplies and then like I don't know if it's me not liking water or I just
I love how the teacher just goes, "No, we can send it to like the university and we'll get money." And then as soon as it like multiplies, he's like, "Ka-ching."
right.
I'm like,
And then it
that's
bites
what
him
he's
in the fucking finger and I'm like,
yeah,
"Okay,
he
yeah,
sticks his
no."
finger there. I was like, "You dumbass, why would you do that?"
Right.
And then, oh god, and I was like, I was like, and it's also really funny that the teachers are like zombies anyway, so you can't
Mhm.
really tell like who's maybe like a weird. We don't know because they just look funny
Right.
all the time anyway. And then all of a sudden, like more water starts coming to the like school. There's like all these like water tanks
Oh yeah,
everywhere.
you see like the truck behind Zeke at one point with like tons of water behind it.
Yeah. And I was like, they all look so healthy too. They all like their skin looks great. They're like drinking tons of water. They're like just sailing. They don't have to eat, I guess. They just have to infect other things,
Yeah,
like
I guess
other
so.
people. And then I wrote, of course, Zeke is selling sex tapes out of his trunk. And that's when we see him outside. And that's when we see what's her name?
Mrs.
Miss
Burke.
Burke.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Famke
Famke
Janssen.
Janssen, who's all like mousy and like, "Hey Zeke, please stop selling stuff out of the car." And then he like weirdly is like, "Do you want some? Do you want some condoms? Do you want some of this?" I was like, "Whoa!" I
Right.
was
I
like,
was
"God,
like
Josh."
I was like, is
So
he hitting on her with the whole condom comment?
yeah, I
Like,
think so. I was like, "Girl, take him up on it. He's not 18. He's
right?
over 18, and you're like a guidance counselor. Just quit your job. It's fine."
Was she a
Like,
guidance counselor?
I think so, right? Or was she? Did she have a classroom? Did she have like a subject? I thought she was like a
She was English teacher. That's right.
Oh, she was. Oh
Mhm.
shit. Okay. Well, that would have been like a Pacey, Ms. Jacobs
Very.
situation. Except for Pacey was like 15, and Josh Hartnett slash Zeke is like 19
Yeah.
because he's like left back a year. And then of course Delilah and Casey work for the paper. She's the editor in chief, and he's the photographer
Very
slash like busybody. And they're like chasing a story, and they go into the faculty lounge. And then I wrote Elijah Wood is forever 12 years old, and
forever 12.
forever and ever. And then they like go into this back closet and they see like what is it? I forgot Ms. Olson, the coach, and they're like talking about like, oh my god, like all this weird shit they're talking about. Oh, I think did the shower, that crazy shower
Oh,
thing
with the
already.
older lady, with the older teacher that comes in.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, where like Stan is like in the shower after football practice, and then
And, like
yeah,
her
like the old
skin is like
teacher.
melting off her face.
Yeah, ew.
Yeah.
It's so gross. I wrote that as my worst scene. I probably didn't write it because that was my worst scene. I wrote weird shower scene
Oh
with
no.
old teacher. It's like, ugh. And her like head, like her hair came off.
Hmm.
And that weird chunk, I thought that was super gross. And then I said, oh my god, they're all basically zombies. I was like, the nurse is one too now, not Selma.
Right.
That's what I
Question.
wrote.
I have a
What?
I have a question, and
Yeah.
maybe it was just a random body, But when Delilah and Casey go into the closet, or is it Delilah?
Mhm.
No, Delilah and Standard. No, Delilah and Casey.
Yeah, it's Casey,
There's a
yeah.
body in there that's like obviously like a corpse by now, like rotted and everything. It drops.
That's the old teacher.
Oh, that's the old teacher. Oh, that's
Yeah,
right.
that's why
Okay.
they saw her in there.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. I forgot
Mhm.
about that.
Um, and then of course, like the cops get called, and like one of the cops, like the black guy, he's the one who's in Scream.
Oh yeah.
Isn't he Gail Weathers' cameraman in Scream
Oh
2?
no shit.
Yeah, and he's like, "Fuck it, I'm not doing this
That's
shit."
funny.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, and then like what is it? The principal takes him back and he gets turned.
uh-huh.
He gets turned into the
I was like,
alien,
"Oh," it's almost like The Strain too.
right?
It like reminds me of like it has to go into like it goes in their ear, like that weird parasite thing like jumps in their ear, but it feels like the Matrix. You know how the Matrix has that weird shit too.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it was after this, but like the way that thing looks with all the like weird things in it look kind of like the Matrix. It's like super creepy.
Right.
Um, and then I wrote, oh my god, okay, Casey's parents think he's on drugs. And they're just like, oh my god, like you're fucking crazy. There was no body in that closet. You guys are insane. His dad is in like everything too. Chris McDonald, I think his
Oh
name
yeah,
is.
yeah, yeah. I would think
Yeah, he's
Casey
in like.
was on drugs too, because like, did you see the first time that he hit that shit so hard in the bathroom? He's like,
Oh, dude, I know. Oh yeah, well, you mean fucking Elijah Wood?
oh, Elijah Wood. That's what I meant.
Elijah Wood Casey. Because when the cops get
Mhm.
called and take him home, they're just like, oh shit, he's on drugs. He's crazy, and he's like, I'm not on drugs. I'm not on drugs. And then of course Delilah and Casey meet up in the bathroom, and they're just and the next day, and they're like, they're after us. They know that we know now.
Mhm.
Like we're fucked. Let's see. And then now you see they're pulling the students into the office. And oh god, it's just so creepy. And then you see like Mary Beth and Zeke, and you find out that Zeke like makes the speed that he sells like through the stuff in the science lab. So like Mary Beth is in there, so now she knows about it. Ew, and then they kiss, and it's gross. I don't like her.
Oh, she's so plain
Ew.
and just.
Yeah, I was not excited about that. So then Casey's like, I'm gonna talk to Stokely about this. Like, she'll totally get my like weird theory that like aliens are taking over the school and like the whole town. So I love that they have this like weird conversation about conspiracies, and they mention like invasions of the Body Snatcher,
Mhm.
and that was actually a ripoff of the Puppet Masters by Robert Heinlein. That's what she
Okay,
says.
I've never actually seen. I've never seen
No,
that or The Thing,
no,
because
me
they
either.
reference
Yeah, which
that
is
too.
that they refer to, yeah. Which is so crazy. And I said now it's an alien takeover theory. And then yeah, Zeke rips off the fucking science storeroom and overhears the group in the science room talking about alien theories. So now it's all like Stan, Delilah, um, Casey, Stokely. Now Zeke and Mary Beth are in.
Mm-hmm.
That's all of them, right? This is like
Yeah.
the group now. So like yeah, so we
Okay.
mentioned the group, and they're just like, oh my god, this is fucking crazy. So then Mr. Furlong, aka John Stewart, comes in and is like, hey guys, what's going on? And then fucking okay, this is like I have to say like super hot moment when like he starts to corner all of the students and then he like fights them, but then Zeke like grabs like the fucking end of a chair
Right.
and like rips it off and is like and then slices his hand and then like the tops of his fingers just
Oh my god,
fly
that's about,
out.
like crawling all over the floor.
Yeah, they're like, oh my god, this is fucking crazy. So then Zeke like stabs him with that speed in the eye,
Yep.
and then they see him like totally like shrivel up, and they're like, what the fuck? This is crazy. So now we know like this is kind of like what
It's
will
really
kill them.
happening. Yeah.
Yeah, like
Or
whatever
yeah.
this word should. And this is one of my favorite scenes, I think, too, is when they all have to make it out of the school to the parking lot, but like most of the people have turned. So like when they
Oh yeah,
walk
there's like
out,
all
there's
these whispers and stuff.
yeah, it's really cool that they like kind of, but I like the way it's shot, how it's like slow mo and they're all like looking around,
Mhm.
like kind of weird, and they just like make it to the car, and then they're like zoom, and like they just totally speed away in the car. Then I wrote, of course, Zeke takes him to his place slash garage apartment or whatever, and of course he has like a fucking meth lab in his
That
house,
whole lab is
and
like amazing.
of course he has a gun because of course he does,
Yeah.
and
Why not?
also of course Yeah, he's just like kind of nuts. And then of course I wrote, "Oh my god, how hot is he in glasses?"
Right?
When he puts the glasses on and by the little microphone out or microscope. I was like, how does he know so much about science, but is like this bad in school? It's kind of crazy. It's kind of ridiculous. So then now, of course, you realize that like everyone has to do it, otherwise you're one of them. So fucking yeah, Elijah Wood, aka Casey, yeah, takes the biggest fucking line off that goddamn pen and just like loses it. It's super funny. I think that's the funniest. But what did you think? Could you tell?
Sorry, could I tell what?
Could you tell that like the girl who was like not doing it? Like
Well,
did you suspect who was like doing it at the
here's
time? Like did
my
you suspect
here's my
like
realistic moment epiphany here. So I've only experimented in a couple of drugs. I've never shot up anything in my body with a needle. I've never sniffed
yeah, same.
anything with my nose. But if you're somebody who's looking at somebody else taking a drug, you wouldn't you notice like the powder's not going up the nose? Like,
Well, I think what happened was when they did this, the two girls, what's her name? Casey, not Casey, Delilah
Delilah.
and Mary Beth. They took theirs at the end, so everyone else had already taken it. So they were all like fucked up.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
Because you know how like
You're
all
yeah.
the guys were like, man, they were like all laughing, they're like, take it, man. So then that's when they were kind of like,
That's true. You're not
okay.
like paying attention to
Yeah, they were
anything.
totally like seeing double and like I love how Stan was just like, you're such a bitch, Delilah. He just started like saying all this crazy shit about them because they were like kind of like drunk on speed. And yeah, Casey was like fucking lit, man. He was just like, and all of a sudden like Zeke was too. And I was like, did we see him take it? I didn't see him take it, but whatever. He probably takes it all the time anyway.
I
But then,
also oh, go ahead.
what was it? Yeah, go on.
I also feel gypped because so Usher is in this as well, if people didn't know. And he
Barely.
only has like 5 minutes of screen time. But
That.
I feel like gypped because he should have been in this scene as well.
Yeah, they didn't make him a principal character.
No,
Like,
because I just want to
he
see
played
Usher being fucked
football.
up too.
No, but of course you just see him like as a zombie person, like later.
Yeah.
Like a zombie student, I guess, kind of sorta.
But no,
But
I like this scene a lot.
I like the scene a lot too when you they turn over to Delilah and she's like, we're everywhere and she has like the bugs all over her face.
I'm
I
like,
was like, I knew it.
how did she get infected?
I don't know. We didn't see her get infected.
Because you didn't see that.
Now I'd have to go back and look and see how she acted with the teacher, right? To see if he knew that she was one. Because all of the scenes where she's like I don't know, she's like she's turned already and she's with them. It's really
It's
strange.
just really weird because like even Stan, like how the hell did that happen? I don't know. It was weird because like Delilah, because she was undercover wearing the glasses and everything, she did
Mhm.
everything to avoid going to the principal's office when all the
Yeah, that's
agents
what
were
I
being
thought.
called. So it was like little pieces. I don't know. To me, anyway. I mean, yeah, this was back in the '90s, but I don't know, just missing pieces. You know?
Yeah, it's true. It's super weird. I was like, "What?" I was like, "When did she?" Anyway, I wrote, so they're all turning on each other. Who can you trust? Um, and then of course you find out Delilah's turn and then she like runs out and escapes. Now we don't see anything with the blonde girl. She's supposedly taken it even though she was like, I'm allergic, I'm
Yeah.
allergic. And they're like, fucking
Fucking
take it
take it.
anyway. Fucking take it anyway. Then I was like, okay, then you flash like the football game and like they're all infecting the players.
hmm
Like they're like tackling them and then like shooting that shit in their ear. It's fucking
It's
gross.
gross.
So gross. And then they capture the principal in like the gym, and she's like, they're like, dude, like they like put her in that net, and I was like, oh my god, this is gonna
Right.
be so much trouble. I was like, how are they gonna get the guy? Because they've now figured out like there's a queen, and if you get the queen, I think what fucking Zeke figured out that it's a parasite, but it's from a larger
Yeah.
host. So he's like, you have to find the queen. So they think, of course, it's the principal because like she was around during the start of all this, and they're like, okay, she's got to be it. So they try to trap her, and then they're trying to like sniff this.
And she's like, I will not.
I will not. And they're like, do it or we're gonna fucking shoot you. I was like, whoa, this is dark. Like
Yeah.
they now
I
have
know.
like
And Josh Hartnett just takes the gun and he's like, pussies, basically.
bam, shoots her. I was like, oh my god. I was like, Zeke just shoots her point blank. I was like, this is insane. I was like, then they put the fucking speed in her and then her whole body like dissolves like some fucking Tales of the Crypt shit.
I know. I was like, bye bye, BB.
I was like, oh. And then they're like, okay, we got to go out. We got to go out to like the trunk or whatever. Or I think like Stan is like, I'm going to go out and like, oh, they think it's the coach. He's like, it's the coach. It's not her. We figured out it's not the principal. And then he goes out and then Stokely like kisses him before he goes out. And she's like, I just want to make sure I never did that. Or something like that. And then Zeke is just looking like, oh, okay. I think actually Delilah like jumped on Stokely earlier and was like, so when did you start liking guys?
Oh, yeah.
I was like, what? She's like, you like Stan.
Well, everyone assumes she's a lesbian, and it's like,
Yeah, she's like, I'm not. It's just my mechanism for everybody to leave me the fuck alone. I was like, God. She's like, just leave me alone. And then and of course, like he goes out, comes back, and then they're like, take the speed, otherwise you can't come back in. And then he like dumps it out, and I was like, no, he's turned now.
That was probably, that's on my list of like second saddest movie scenes, because you see Stokely's face, and a few minutes before he went out, she like kisses him for the first time, or like has body contact with anybody for the first time in the movie.
Body contact.
You know, and she like has such a joyous face on her, and then he comes back and she's like realizing that he's like turned, and she's crying her eyes out, and I'm like, oh my god.
That's another way to like point out that like men will disappoint you, ladies.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
They're a different person. That's really funny.
But
so then they all are like, Zeke is like, I've got a stash in my trunk. Like that's the only bit I have left, because of course the fucking that new transfer girl uses all that powder on the teacher, and I was like, ooh,
what a coinkydink.
And then he's like, is that all of it? And then he's like, I got more in the car. So they go out to the car, and then fucking Casey he's like, why do we both need to be out here, Zeke? And he's like, you're a decoy. He's like,
right. We're gonna use the nerd as bait.
That's totally his bait. And then he like shoves him, runs over to his car. Casey's like run up into like a school bus, and then you see fucking what's her name, Delilah, and she's like, hey Casey, I know you want me. And I was like, okay, this is just like that disturbing behavior scene where that girl like cuts herself on that mirror. Like I was like, okay, here's like a girl like throwing herself at this fucking 12-year-old boy. It's Elijah Wood. No, it's so weird. Oh, you want to feel really old? Macaulay Culkin turned 40 the other day, so that's how old. Yeah, that's how old.
Damn.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah, it's like the end of an era. So of course I wrote Delilah in the bus with Casey, and then I wrote, then we get Zeke and the hot like sexed up teacher Famke Jensen by the car, and she's like, hey. And she has like the same bangs that the principal had, like the Betty Page bangs.
Love her clap back at him.
I know.
She like tears him a new asshole. Like,
she really fucking does.
And like, all the guys in the back are like, woo.
I know. I was like, is she gonna kiss him? Like in the quad? Like what's gonna happen? Like, this is nuts. Yeah, I totally said that out of order because I think I wrote down stuff in my favorites and didn't put it in the actual chronological order. But yeah, of course, she has that really crazy, like, heated sexual exchange with him in the quad with like 50 people watching, where she's just like, yeah, like, you know, whatever she does, she like grabs his face and everything. I was like, what's happening? What's gonna happen here? She does the same thing again by the car, and she's like, hey Zeke, what's up? And he's like, hey. And then she's like, hey, I want something. She like alludes like something cherry flavored, like the condoms he was trying to push on her
Oh,
the
that's
day
right. Yeah.
before. And then she was like, is it cherry flavored? Blah, blah, blah. And he was like, yeah, I'll hook you up. And then he like jumps in the car all fast. And she's like, she jumps in the other side. Like she just like jumps in head first into the passenger seat. And then they're just like driving, blah, blah, blah. And he crashes the car. And then this is this is one of my gross parts too, where she like is in the car crash and then her head is like
I
separated from
love
her
it where it's like the tentacles at the bottom of her neck.
at the bottom of her neck, and then her head is like there, and he's like, "Oh my god!" And he kind of sees her like her body like trying to find the head,
And he's
and
like,
then he's like,
"Get
"Fuck
out of
this
here."
shit." Yeah, he just leaves. I was like, "Oh my god!" He just like literally turns and just like runs and books. I was like, "That's so funny." Then I wrote, then we find out Mary Beth and Stokely are in the gym alone, and then I'm like, "Oh, here it is. It's this fucking bitch because she's the new one." And then we find out that like this new exchange student girl is like the monster, and she like grabs Stokely when she turns into that weird like crazy shit,
Oh my god.
and she like grabs her in the pool, and like there's this whole crazy chase,
That pool scene
and
is
like
so cool, actually.
it's really cool. It reminds me of the Buffy one,
Oh yeah,
with the
totally. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Oh,
with Wentworth Miller, because that one was like, wasn't that like Creature from the Black Lagoon?
something.
Isn't that kind of like what that one was based on?
Mhm.
Um, Then I wrote, yeah, Stokely is turned now. So then like Casey, it's so weird that Casey is literally, or no, Zeke is the only one who's not turned throughout the whole movie.
You're right.
They all get turned. Like Casey gets turned at the very last minute when he like chases it behind the bleachers to fucking like actually kill it and stick that thing in its eye.
Because I'm curious now too, because like because he has the hidden smarts, maybe the
Mm-hmm.
alien race, well, Mary Beth, the queen, like just now just figures out, okay, well, he's gonna figure everything out, so we're gonna leave him alone.
I don't know. I don't know why she doesn't go for him and she goes for Casey.
Yeah.
Like she specifically goes for Casey, I think. Like when she's looking for him.
Hmm.
I don't think it's Zeke. I think it's really Casey. I'm just like, and then I wrote, so then yeah, he ends up cornering it last minute and jabs it into the eye, but the thing like jumps out into him right before he stabs it. So he like had it for a second and then it like came out.
Hmm.
And then at the end I just wrote, so wait, just a diuretic kills this?
Right.
Like this is this there's no like weird Giles like Scooby Gang like research occult books, like we're not gonna ask questions, we're just gonna like just a diuretic, okay.
I actually did call them the Scooby Gang Volume 2.
Did you? Oh, they are kind of, they're bigger though,
Yeah.
a lot more of them. And then I love films that jump in time when it's like 1 month later
Yeah.
and then you see what's going on, and like Zeke is smoking, waving at the teacher on the bleachers, and somehow playing football. Like
Which teacher is that? Because that's not Famke.
that's Famke Jensen.
Is
Yeah,
it?
back to her mousy way. Back to her original mousy way with the glasses and the cardigan.
Oh, okay.
Like that's the one he likes. He doesn't like the vamped up one. He likes the
Like, I
like
mean, because like, is she normal? Because like, obviously,
librarian.
you see her head like detached from her body. So
Yeah. I think they all just like none of that ever happened. Like once they killed the queen, it was like none of that's true. She was
So then
literally
where's Selma Hayek once again? And then where is Piper Laurie's character once again?
that's true.
Like
The principal.
they wanted
She's
to
just
wrap this
shot.
film up really fast. So
Really did, because wait, what happened with the principal? Because she got all shriveled up, but if
well, she's
the
dead. Well,
queen
she's dead.
queen is dead, is she though?
Well, Jon Stewart never came back.
Yeah, how come he didn't come back? If
I
you
mean, once
killed
you're
him
dead,
as
you're
this,
dead. I mean,
but wouldn't
not
she be
detached
dead too?
from your body.
Head, decapitated?
Well, she
Like
was still walking around. I mean, so she's technically still not dead.
so crazy. Holes.
Holes.
Tons of holes. Okay, Zeke playing football alone just makes absolutely no sense. Like, why would he ever do that?
Yeah, no.
And then Stan and Stokely are together. Why is Stokely not grunge now? Or not gothy now? Because she's not
She's seen the
evil?
light.
What? She's like a fucking cult leader now. Or like a cult member. She's wearing that weird like pastel cardigan. I was like, what?
I know.
You were all black before this thing happened. And he didn't seem to mind. So girl, why are you changing? Don't do it.
She just took it from the set of But I'm a Cheerleader.
No. That was later though. That
Oh
was the
yeah, I
next
know.
year.
Yeah, true.
But that's so funny. Then of course Delilah and Casey together. What the fuck? Like what the fuck? And then of course, I just wrote, I love the credits and I love that shout out for Summer Phoenix and John Abramson. I was like the fuck you couple.
Fuck you. Fuck you too.
Which is so funny. Do you have any notes about like the theme and the mood and the music and fashion and
I
stuff?
do actually, but very minimal. It's like I said, like I kept saying, it's very Breakfast Club meets Invasion of Body Snatchers. It's dark yet funny with a homage to sci-fi genre.
Yeah, totally.
That's more on the theme side, and mood maybe.
Yeah, that's
I'm
pretty much
still trying
that.
to differentiate the two.
Yeah, I just wrote it for my notes. I mean, I'll then have to reformat it as we go on to something like easier.
No, 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 not at all. It's just my brain, it works weird.
My theme, all I have was there's that one shot of the eye, and it's almost like the eye from Scream when the principal's killed. It was like
Oh
the same
yeah.
exact shot. See them like standing over their eye, and it was like the same color eye. It was like the same kind of shot. And then I have most of it's in the high school.
Hmm.
Like most of it's shot in the high school. You only see a few like people's rooms and
Yeah,
like cars.
you really don't. Yeah, so you don't really get to know, quote unquote, Ohio.
Or even like that. You see a few of the kids' rooms.
Yeah,
So you see where Zeke lives, you see where Casey lives, but like that's it.
yeah.
Because like did this girl from the transfer girl just not have parents? Like did we never met them, right? That
No,
wasn't a thing. Like how
no, there was
did
no,
she just
no, because you only met Casey's parents,
yeah,
and that's
that's it.
it.
Stan?
No,
Didn't you see Stan? No.
no, wait, no.
I think they were at the school
Mm-mm.
or something, but who knows?
The what?
The music. What do you think about the music?
The music was great. Like I said before, the Offspring,
Yeah, the intro.
to introduce the movie is a great opening sequence song. The Class of '99, Another Brick in the Wall, is awesome.
Yeah, that's such good lyrics for that.
Oh, definitely. I'm not familiar with the other songs, but the other artists I am, like Creed, Garbage, Sheryl Crow, Oasis.
Creed.
Creed. I was a Creed like fanatic.
Oh god. I
Shut.
can't.
It was a thing. It was a thing
It
back
was.
then.
Tell me you were into Nickelback, or I don't even know if I can
No,
handle this.
our friendship is over. No, I'm kidding. No, I was never a Nickelback fan, surprisingly.
Gosh. Thank God.
I'll
Fucking
take you higher.
That's Creed.
That's Creed.
Oh, yeah, that is Creed. That fucking Scott Stapp. I remember watching like some like weird VH1 thing about like
Oh,
rock music, and they were talking to him about like how do you think when everybody makes fun of the way you sing, and he's like, I don't like when people make fun of the way I sing and like blah blah blah, and they were like kind of like giving him shit, like the other bands were kind of giving him
oh
shit on the.
no.
It's kind of funny, like just the way he sings and like the way a lot of those guys sound,
Oh
like
yeah.
from those bands in like late '90s, early 2000s. Like they were the grunge guys were like, yeah, they had a
Roll.
weird way of singing. Yeah, like they had this weird yarl.
Basically, it was a Jarl.
Yeah, they're like it's kind of funny. Yeah, I have the same thing. Oasis at the end was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cheryl Crow's on the soundtrack, D Generation, Soul Asylum. It's very much you could tell they wanted to sell a soundtrack. I think the same guy who did Scream did this one.
which is
You could tell.
which is great. I mean, I have no problem with that. I mean, like I was a big like soundtrack collector a long time ago,
Sure.
and it could be like I mean, minus this movie because it was really good, but like it could be the worst movie, but have the most amazing soundtrack.
Yeah, totally.
And I'm a big avid like advertiser, if you will, of that. I mean, go check out a lot of soundtracks for just random shit because you'll be pleasantly surprised sometimes.
Yeah, I used to get a lot of great, like, I'd find out a lot about a lot of great bands on soundtracks because they would have like other things in it. They'd have like bands that were like up and comers. You know, you just heard one song, but you really liked
Oh
it.
yeah, I mean, like, and I was, as you know, like I used to work at Tower Records, so I would receive like samples of music or movies, and just or like even during my work day, I would just go on my break and just randomly like check out shit, and then be like,
So
oh, I
cool.
want it. I've never seen the
Yeah,
movie,
so
but the soundtrack is amazing.
so rad.
Yeah, it was a
Cool.
really good job. I think that was like one of my best jobs ever.
I know. I think it was one of your best jobs too. I like to go there and hang out. So like I think it was one of your best jobs too. I wish I could have worked at one in like New York or California
Oh,
too.
the
That
big
would have
huge
been
ones,
cool.
yeah.
That would have been really cool. But God, isn't it crazy to think that it's like not around anymore?
Oh, I mean, when
It's just like
when
nowhere.
technology and like iTunes and stuff like that, they took over, those stores slowly closed, but like especially Tower Records, their website would stay open for a little bit. I think like maybe 2 or 3 years after all the physical stores closed, then they closed the website.
Have you seen the documentary?
No, you told me about it a while
Oh,
ago
it's
though.
really good. It's called All Things Must Pass.
Hmm.
It came out in 2015. It says here that you can watch it for free on YouTube.
Mm.
It's also directed by Colin Hanks, the guy who was in Roswell, aka Tom
Tom
Hanks' son.
Hanks' son. Yeah. Colin Hanks. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
so
Um,
County too.
Justin was has been rewatching Dexter lately,
Oh, really?
and Colin Hanks was one of the killers in the later season.
Really?
Yeah, it was
The
interesting.
ones that one of the guys that Dexter kills,
Oh,
who is a killer?
yeah,
Oh, I've seen it all the way through once, but I don't remember. I have to watch it again.
it's a great TV series.
The last seasons were like kind of bad. The last like two.
Yeah,
I feel like it could have ended a lot sooner. The end, I was really disappointed by. I have to say
yeah.
that.
Oh,
But I think
definitely.
a lot of people like they were just like, "What?" Okay, so what do you think about the fashion?
The fashion. Let
It's
me
very like J. Crew, like late '90s high school. It wasn't very descript. We were talking about
no.
the goth. It was
Yeah.
kind of lazy. I have.
So like
They
what
could have had a better.
I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, go on.
No, I said very 90s, but like late 90s. Like for instance, like the women's jackets. There was no more big shoulder pads, but they replaced it with like slightly smaller ones for some of the women teacher jackets that you saw. Um, the one teacher, Piper Laurie, she was still sporting like the big goofy poofy hairstyle.
Grandma clothes.
The BB Newworth, the principal, like I said in the beginning, like the purple suit was a very big fashion thing back then. I think Zeke's short sleeve
Oh,
shirts over the
I
long
love
sleeve.
clothes.
Like I remember sporting that combo a lot during high school.
Totally. Me too.
Um,
I still think it looks so good.
the
Like Brad Pitt still wears it.
like what?
Pitt, he still dresses. He wears that combo quite a lot
Oh yeah, yeah,
in
yeah.
real life. He wears like a white. I think he wears a white long sleeve shirt, and then he usually wears like an earthy tone type shirt. At least he has lately.
Mm.
He's been wearing a lot of like not bright colors, like tan and
He can
beige.
do no wrong in my eyes.
He's naked. I mean, who cares? Like, it's Brad Pitt.
I
We all saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood where he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna take my shirt off on top of this roof. I've been working out hard."
what movie was that?
That Tarantino film,
Oh,
the
I
one
thought
that was out last.
that.
Yeah, you can see it. I think I mentioned it before. Yeah, you have to see it. It's really good.
I did. There was this one chick that didn't have any screen time, but like Mary Beth, I think, talked to her for a little bit. There was this chick that was maybe a gothic chick, but she had like a nose ring and like some face jewelry.
Oh yeah, she asked like where the thing was
That was a
when
big
she got
fashion thing back then. Yeah,
the chain.
yeah, the chain.
To, she had like a tattoo, I think, on her wrist. It was
All
like
right.
a tribal tattoo.
Oh, I missed that one.
Yeah, or
Um,
somewhere she had tribal somewhere.
but I did say, well, we already talked about Stokely. Um, I did say with Mary Beth, even though she's like very on the '90s side, um, with her flower prints on her outfit, um, symbolizes, I guess, like her
Yeah,
southernness. But it also says like because she's not wearing things like everybody else, so
it also
it's something that like makes her stick out.
totally, and it also she also looked kind of dated. Like even the outfit that she had on, I get was that like 90s baby doll, but it looked like it was a dress from the 60s or
Oh,
70s.
huh.
I mean, it might not have been, but the way that she looked and her hair was like very plain. She looked very like Little House on the Prairie. She looked like
Definitely.
very like she'd never been in like a relatively large city. Like she grew up on a farm. Like she just had that vibe.
Hmm.
She just didn't have a city or even suburb vibe at
No,
all.
that makes sense.
Very like, country vibe, I guess.
Um,
That's what I had. And then Tommy Hilfiger, I think, sponsored some of the clothes.
oh
I
no
know.
shit.
And there was also Stan had like a Tommy Hilfiger polo on one time, and I remember in some of like my teen magazines at the time, they had like a spread with Tommy Hilfiger and the faculty, like a
Oh,
whole
that's
photo
cool.
shoot. Yeah, I know he did some of the
Oh, that's
outfits.
cool. I mean, the last thing I only said was Casey, Elijah's character, Casey, right? Um,
Yeah.
he was sporting like a lot of the oversized plaid shirts, um, and
Hmm.
oversized jeans. So that was a big thing back then too.
Yeah, there actually is an ad, a Tommy Hilfiger ad. It's on Reddit featuring the cast of the faculty. It's like it's on YouTube actually. It's a video.
Oh, that's cool. I'm gonna have to check that out.
Like, I'll send it to you. Yeah, it's on YouTube, so check that out.
Do you have
Yeah,
any
that's
other
all I have for
questions?
the fact.
That's it.
It was very like regular. I wasn't too like crazy impressed with anyone. Delilah's outfits were very like very preppy chic. A lot of like cardigans and dresses.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of matching. Um, who else? I loved Famke Jensen's like the dress at the end, where it was like black and red,
Oh yeah, yeah,
or
yeah.
was red
Red.
actually. Yeah,
Yeah.
red. His car was black with the red stripe. Zeke's car. I thought
Hmm.
that was pretty cool. That was kind of matchy. Then she had a black dress on in the quad, right? When she like clapped back at him in the
Yeah.
quad. Black dress, yeah. All right. So, what were your favorite scenes?
My favorite scenes. Where did I
Do
put
you
those?
have any?
I do. I have three. Wait.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I have three. When and I mentioned it before when Mrs. Burke she like claps back at Zeke. That was like
Yeah,
amazing. I
but
loved it. Um, John Stewart's character attacking the students in the lab. I thought even though it was like cheesy,
oh,
it was
it's
still
scary.
scary as fuck.
Yeah, it
Um,
was really scary.
and then the third scene was Zeke's idea to have everybody sniff the quote unquote caffeine and other household shit to prove they
Yeah,
aren't aliens.
speaking at Raj.
I loved it. Um,
That's pretty good.
what are yours?
Okay, Zeke and the teacher in the school quad. I like that. I when the group heads for the parking lot, I
Oh
kind of like that when they're all like from the lab. They're like, "Oh shit, we gotta calmly like head out of here." And then the gang tweaking out in the garage. For my worst scenes, I have weird shower scene with old teacher. That was
yeah,
weird.
the
The lab with Jon Stewart, that was also very weird. And then that bit where the coach is like in the rain and he's like soaking in the rain and then his face is all like alien and shit. Like his
that
face
was
is
actually
all
really
like
cool with the other football players in the
yeah,
back.
with all the yeah, the rest of the guys in the back. I like that.
That's cool. I don't have like
Do you have any worst
I don't
any
have
worst ones?
I don't have any worse scenes. I have two saddest scenes.
Oh, okay, what are your
Which I already talked to you about, like Stokely like crying. But then my other one was like when Zeke snaps his pet mouse Oscar
yeah.
to use him as well. I mean, I know he's technically a lab rat, and that's what they do. But I was
Yeah, it's
like,
kind of
oh
sad.
my god.
He like seems to be really versed at like doing science experiments. Like he knew how to like totally dissect this mouse and like do whatever he had to do. I was like, how do you know how to do this?
Oh yeah,
Kind of weird. Do you have any good quotes?
I do.
What are
I
your
have I
quotes?
have three.
I do
Only
too.
working in
Okay.
threes apparently. My first one was when Delilah says to Stan, "What am I supposed to do while you're on the yellow brick quest for a brain?"
That's pretty funny.
And then I love that. And then Stokely and Stan's interaction where like I guess they bump into each other and she goes, "Get a fucking eye dog." And he goes, "Maybe if
Yeah.
you didn't paint your fucking eyes shut."
God.
And then the other one was Delilah's interaction with Casey where she says, "You're the geeky Stephen King kind of kid. There's one in every
Oh
school."
my
I mean,
god.
which is
That's
true.
pretty cool.
So,
That's really cool.
there's always that bookworm, that like
Yeah.
knows everything. There's always the goth chick. There's always, I mean,
sassy, preppy one.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's stereotypical, so they fed into the stereotypical personalities, but it's true.
Jock, the bad boy.
There's the bad boy, there's the harlot, there's the cheerleader.
Mm,
I
the
think that's what
weird
they were
one.
missing from the cast was like the harlot. Although, like,
Yeah.
you could say that the newly alienized Mrs. Burke was the harlot.
It was the harlot. Yeah, for Zeke. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. My quotes were it's after the teacher like reamed Zeke out in the quad where he's like, she had some bad shit.
Oh, right.
That's pretty good. And then what's her name? Delilah and Stokely's interaction in the garage where she's like, well, who fucking cares about her? And then she's like, fuck you, tit bags.
Oh, I almost wrote that one down too.
I like that one. And then I just like when you find out Delilah's turn and she's like, we're everywhere. Like I like that one. Those are my three.
That's awesome.
And I just had one 90s moment because it just seems so 90s moment. And they're like, I forgot who talks about it. I think it's Casey who says it. And he just says, like, what are you guys going to do? Like, blow up the White House Independence Day style?
Yeah. I didn't
Like,
write it down,
ooh,
but I was going to say
it's
that.
so 90s. That, like, just came out like 2 years before, which is probably
Was
one of the
that
greatest
years
fucking
before?
films. Yeah, 96.
Oh, wow. Did you see the sequel?
Yes.
What do you
It was
think?
so bad. I saw it in the theater.
Yeah, we did too.
And terrible.
Supposedly,
It
they
never should.
were supposed to make another one too.
What? It did so bad
It
though.
did horrible. I think they like hardly made budget.
Like Liam Hemsworth, all like it was just bad. Like Goldblum being in it, and then like them going to Africa and being like, "This is where the aliens landed." And we took all their like weapons and shit.
Mm.
And then I was like, "What?" I was like, "This is weird." And why is Will Smith not in it? But his like son
His son
is.
is, and then yeah,
And Vivica was in like half of it, right? Wasn't she in like?
she was like only in 5 minutes of it.
Yeah, she died or something.
Yeah.
In the story. Do you have any 90s?
I don't. That was the one I was gonna do. The
Oh shit. So yeah.
Do you have
all the rest.
Do you have any fuck Mary kills?
Oh yeah, totally. I'm just gonna make it up right now. Okay, so fuck Mary Kill, fucking Zeke, Casey, or Stan.
So yeah, I have fuck Zeke for hands down. Marry Casey because he's a geek and knows everything, so he could save me from shit. And then kill. I was conflicted, and
Who were you conflicted from?
Stan or Gabe / Usher, because I felt.
No, that's 4 people.
What?
You have to have fuck Mary Kill. It has to be 3.
Oh god.
Casey, Stan, or Zeke.
Damn it. Okay. Yeah. So fuck Zeke, marry Casey, kill Stan. But I'm so conflicted about that because I also think that Stan is kind of hot.
Stan's super hot. I'm fucking Stan. I'm killing Casey.
I'm conflicted about that.
Smart. Like Zeke is actually smart, and you get to fuck him whenever you want. So like, why would you not marry Zeke? He's actually smart. I feel like he could get a job in something.
I mean, the only reason, and I know you said it was 3, but the only reason I'd put Gabe in there because I still feel gypped. He wasn't in anything.
Okay, well, if we did secondary characters, it would be like Jon Stewart, the T-1000, and who's the other male? Isn't there another male teacher?
Is there?
Is there? Is it just the guy who was drinking, the one who had the alcohol problem?
Oh, is that the McDonald guy?
Yeah. No. Oh no, that's the dad. Okay, yeah. Let's take Casey's dad. Casey's dad, Jon Stewart, and fucking T-1000.
You just made that all kind of complicated.
What are your 3 with this one? This one's gonna be the hard one.
The which?
Hard one. This one's gonna be the hard one.
Between those 3?
Yeah.
T-1000. Fuck. Marry Casey's dad. And then what does that leave me with? Kill.
This would be my answer too.
Yeah.
Kill Jon Stewart.
Kill Jon Stewart because Jon Stewart. His voice annoys the shit out of me.
It is kind of weird. He acted strange throughout the entire film. Like, was he turned the whole time?
You know, it kind of makes me wonder. So
He was even when they were like cha-ching. I was like, is he turned?
that leads me to another one of my questions. Is that
What?
okay? So the coach is turned first before even like the principal, right?
Yeah.
So
But
who is he turned by? Because
the girl, the student, she's the
that
queen.
Mary Beth,
Yeah.
but that wasn't a woman's shadow on the
What do you
field.
mean?
Like you know how like
Oh yeah.
he's on the football field, he sees a
Was
shadow.
it the woman? The old woman? Ms. Olson? Because she was turned when she stabbed her at the end. Remember when she the
Oh yeah,
out?
I don't know.
Maybe it was Ms. Olson.
Holes.
And maybe Mary Beth bit her. Maybe that's really her mom. That would make sense.
Billy's mother.
Billy's mother. Oh my god, I love Timothy Olyphant. I love him so much. Oh, we have to do Scream 2. We should do
We
Scream 2
really
now.
do need to do Screen 2.
Randy, oh.
But my
What are your final thoughts?
my final thought is that so even though it's an invasion of the Body Snatchers high school teen horror drama monster movie that screams "Don't forget to wear your seatbelt before crashing into a school bus," it does display.
Yeah, close up on him, like putting his seatbelt on. Like,
I love that close up. It's like don't forget, people.
GM.
Um,
Yeah.
but
Oh,
it does display the message of like high school division and the judgments on humanity at first
it
glance.
clicks. Yeah.
The loneliness of how one can feel in high school, enough to put up a shield of who we aren't. Like
That's true.
Stokely said, like I'm not a lesbian; it's just a mask. Um, Zeke,
That was her whole vibe. That was
yeah,
Mary Beth was like, don't you want to be a part of something? Don't you want to stop being like different and like
oh yeah,
always it's like what they do in all like disturbing behavior was the same way. Like,
hmm
don't you guys want to be conformists? Like, don't you all want to be like a part of this positive thing and not be so negative? It's like how they try to sell it.
yeah. I mean, even with Zeke's like druggy persona, like I mean, he's smart as shit, and he was masking that. Um, what's his face? Stan, the football player. Like he knows he's good at football, but he knows in his head that he's better than that.
But what else would he do besides bang the goth girl? I didn't really figure out.
Didn't he reference what he wanted to do? I forget. Huh?
I know he just wanted to do something else. I didn't know exactly what he
I
wanted to
can't
do.
remember. I think he like alludes to it to Delilah, but I forget.
Yeah, I know he's like, I want to take off school because that way I can like concentrate on studying and then get into college that way. And she's like,
Oh,
no,
maybe that's all he said.
be a college football scholarship.
Um, what are your final thoughts?
Thank God for creating Josh Hartnett. That is all. End
Yes.
tweet. Like end scene.
Insane. I love it.
Yeah, so we will see you on the next one. We're gonna do Scream 2, we've just decided.
Sweet.
So I'm fucking excited because that is in the 90s and we were just talking about it. And we want to say Billy's mother. Like
Billy's mother. I love it. But
hello.
yeah, no, if you haven't seen this, please go check it out. It's on
Oh
Amazon
yeah,
Prime.
it's on Prime, I think.
It's on, yeah, that's where I found it. It's on Amazon Prime. It's on Showtime every once in a while.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it is.
Showtime or HBO. I think you can actually get it on YouTube, to be honest.
We
Um,
can find
it,
it. It's pretty well known, but it's Josh Hartnett. You won't be disappointed.
it's great, and it has a big following. I mean, like a lot of
Yeah,
these '90s, films, they just get like a more following like years later, and they continue on.
especially if you're a fan of Rodriguez. Definitely
Yeah,
check it out. He's done some great films too.
and if you haven't seen Machete series, go see it or
So good.
go get it.
So good.
Anything.
Yeah, well, we will see you guys on the next one.
Peace.
Bye.